Morning everyone, my name is Brittany Blair and today I'm going to talk about Alzheimer's disease. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said, today we will be talking about Alzheimer's disease and the effects it has on relationships. Questions regarding this topic are, how does Alzheimer's disease affect relationships with family members and caregivers? What are some of the obstacles people with this disability deal with, and how does this disability affect our society, and why is it important to understand? The hypothesis. My hypothesis was Alzheimer's disease does indeed, in fact, affect family relationships as well as couple and spouse relationships. My hypothesis was correct as well. Alright, some of the findings. Alzheimer's disease puts a strong stressful burden on the family members. The family has to constantly take care of them and watch them and accommodate their every need. In terms of marital relationships, some relationships begin to fade as the disease proceeds into its later stages. The person begins to forget places, things, and importantly, people, so this definitely creates a barrier. A person with Alzheimer's becomes reliant on their caregiver. The victim of this disease takes on the role as a child. The caregiver takes on the role as the parent, and the patient that has once been the parent takes on the child role. And intimacy issues for couples are created with Alzheimer's disease. There become sexual intimacy issues when the patient is in later stages of Alzheimer's disease. Research describes the patient consent and that fine line it has, and especially if a person doesn't remember their partner, and it can get pretty messy. That's just something that becomes an issue for couples. Some more findings. Caregiving puts a physical strain on the caregiver's body. Lifting the person and having to hold them and things like that, it's physically draining for a caregiver, and, the constant, like, holding somebody, and, you're using all your muscles you can to help them. There are also emotional burdens for caregivers. There's, a lot of caregivers get anxiety and depression just watching their family member deteriorate, basically, and, they're having to take care of them all the time and constantly watch them, so that's definitely pretty emotional for somebody. Okay, so then there's support groups are a beneficial way for a patient with Alzheimer's disease to cope with their disability, and this creates cohesion and assistance in creating understanding of the disability, and a lot of people can get together and, support each other and figure a way to beat and how to cope with this disability. And caring for Alzheimer's is costly. Nursing homes are extremely expensive, and altering a person's health can be expensive, so either way you slice it, Alzheimer's, like the medical issues of Alzheimer's, can get pretty expensive, and we all know that a family member would do whatever they can to assist them in that way, but, a family can, become in debt because of this. And there are a few conclusions that I have found throughout the research that I have found. And the first one is Alzheimer's not only affects the person who has the disability, but it affects the family, it affects friends, and anyone involved in their lives. Also, the disease is a constant struggle. Having to live like that every single day, being confused and scared, it's a long journey that the person has to, live through. Also, relationships are changed when it comes to Alzheimer's disease. Relationships change emotionally. There is a sense of loss. Barriers appear between relationships and loved ones and all that. And also, the most important conclusion is all the independence is gone. So independence is completely gone when it comes to Alzheimer's disease. They can't drive, go places by themselves, and do the things they used to do and the things they used to love. When it comes to Alzheimer's disease, their sense of self is gone, and I think that is the biggest struggle that the family members may know, the family members may see, and it's like I said, it's just a terrible journey to go through. And now these are some of the things that tie into our class, our disability class. Alzheimer's disease is a disease that affects relationships. everyone and everyone surrounding them, so everyone's affected by this. We may know somebody who has Alzheimer's disease, or we could eventually get this disease, so it's important to understand the symptoms and um, the way it operates. Also, the disease is viewed as in a certain way, so maybe this is seen as negatively, and um, it's definitely an underrated topic because people don't know a lot about it. So this is also a big issue, and we learned this through our class that we need to be more aware of these things and these disabilities. And also the last one that ties into this class is stereotypes come with this disability. So, untrue things are assumed about these people, and a lot of negative flack for this disability because people are unaware of it, and it's something that people are very uneducated on. So, where do we go from here? I would say that we have to be educated, volunteer, and help whoever we can, and help them overcome this or help families cope with this, and also break the stereotypes and negativity. Since this class, we all need to be aware of the certain stereotypes people put on disabilities and illnesses and races, so I think it's our job to try and stop that and say, hey, this isn't good, and we all need to be educated on these serious topics. So thank you so much for your attention today, and feel free to comment and discuss with me. Thank you so much.